Tuesday, March 14th, and welcome to your afternoon HAN Network Stormcast. For the first time today, we're actually getting a look at the pavement of Route 8 outside our Shelton studio today as this storm turns over to a lot of icing and slush right now. I'm Kate Chaplinsky with Frank Granito, and while the storm has changed track a bit, it's led to many closings. Now, all day long, we've had our HAN Network ticker running at the bottom of the screen, but for the latest closings in your towns and list of businesses that are open, please check your local HAN Network news site. I can report that our CEO, Marty Hersom, was driving down Bridgeport Avenue. Not much open other than Stop and Shop right now, so we'll see if that changes later in the day. Now, Governor Daniel Malloy gave his latest update on the storm just moments ago. That travel ban still in effect. That first went into effect at 5 a.m. and according to the governor, it's really helping DOT get these roads clear. There is going to be another update from the governor around 5:30, so perhaps we'll see the travel ban lifted at that point. But you know, this storm is hitting different parts of the state, some less or more severe. Now, so far the governor has said non-essential third shift state employees are not to report to work, and as of 12:30 today, 76 cities and towns had activated their emergency operations centers. State police have responded to 86 calls to assist motorists. That is lower than normal, so that's some good news. And 28 accidents, also down from the usual number, and none of those had serious injury. According to the governor, the DOT is doing a good job keeping up with the snowfall, and he said once that ban is lifted, it will be lifted all at once. He does not plan to lift it by sections of the state. The governor said he also wanted to commend Connecticut residents for heeding warnings. And right now we're seeing the largest accumulations of snow on I-84 near the New York and Connecticut border. We're going to be talking more about the forecast. You know, black ice is going to be a problem tonight, but let's throw it over to Frank Granito for a better look at that forecast. Frank.
And that is a big concern, Kate, the black ice that we'll see later on. Again, what we expected to be heavy snow almost tapering off at this time has really turned into a sleet and rain combination. Temperatures are almost into the 40 degrees right now, which is why it's less of a snow, but that's going to continue on for a little while here. The biggest concern for the rest of the afternoon will be the wind, anywhere between 40 and 55 miles per hour. It's reached as high as 60 in some counties already. Not too many power outages, luckily, to this point in the day, but the wind obviously will be a major factor moving forward. Then it's going to get cold overnight. While we expect that travel ban to be lifted later on today, in the evening and overnight is when the roads will probably be at their worst, with a lot of black ice and freezing conditions coming our way before a chilly Wednesday morning as well. They could have a couple flurries mixed in. And we're getting a look now at some of the snow totals. You see Wilton, who is registered with NBC Connecticut. They have had the most to this point in time. New Fairfield right behind them. You can see Ridgefield up with 12 inches. Monroe sitting at 10 along with New Britain. Danbury 7.5, and it goes all the way down. You've got Bridgeport, Suffield, and West Hartford with 4.5 inches. I think we've dodged a bullet here, Kate, with what we expected. Colony Grill in Fairfield was joking, saying they're going to be open now. 6 inches is not the 25 they were anticipating. So a relief that we didn't get hit as hard with the snow, but now you've got to deal with all the ice conditions that will come into play moving forward here.
Yeah, so still definitely want to be safe. As we've talked about earlier, rail and bus service remain suspended. And Frank, you mentioned power outages in this storm. We're not seeing much so far. According to Governor Malloy, there's only 1,800 customers without power total, which is better than expected at this point. Eversource reports that Ridgefield has about 25 customers out. Now, that's actually due to a car that hit a pole on Harvey Road. Eversource is responding, and the town of Ridgefield is again asking people to stay off the roads. Now, Danbury has more than most in this area as far as power outages, 125 customers out. United Illuminating reporting very low outages. Easton has some scattered outages, but Woodbury, Connecticut looks to be leading the state now as far as power outages at 592. too. Now, Eversource is also reminding everyone to clear snow from your gas meters and vents. Now, it could cause carbon monoxide buildup should you forget to do that. So definitely a good thing to keep in mind. Now, before we get back to some of our storm coverage, Greenwich police are looking for a missing man who no one has seen since yesterday. The Greenwich Police Department are searching for a Riverside resident that's been reported missing as of yesterday at 8:30 at night. Kenneth Wood Kahusik, 61 years old, who also goes by the name Kenny, is a white male that is 6'1" and 190 pounds. He has green eyes and long gray hair with a bald spot on the top of his head. Wood Kahusik is also autistic and partially deaf. In addition to the missing persons report, police say that Kahusik has burn marks from his ankle to his chin and has a hunched over posture. He also has a gap in his front teeth. Wood Kahusik was last seen by his neighbors on March 12th during the afternoon hours walking up and down his street, which is a normal behavior. He is known to frequent Greenfield Cleaners, Greenwich Wine and Spirits, and the Riverside Commons. He's not believed to be operating a motor vehicle, and Greenwich police are asking anyone with information to contact them at 203-622-8030, and especially in this weather, just hoping they find him safely. Now, we've been getting a lot of great video from all of our reporters and editors who have been out there today, as we've been seeing in all of our Stormcasts. Now, what was great is John Kovach, our editorial director, was out in Fairfield earlier today, and he ran into someone that, despite the storm, was out there getting a workout in. Let's check it out.
John Kovach with the HAN network in Fairfield. I'm out with Adam Gentile of Fairfield, who I've literally, well, he ran into me, kind of. You're out jogging in this, Adam.
I am.
How is it out there?
It's not bad. I mean, it's when they plow the roads, it's icy underneath. It's definitely icy. I think it's like 25 degrees and windy, as you see. But, you know, I think the worst is yet to come. But it's not bad. It's fun for me getting out here and running.
You may as well do it in all weather.
Exactly.
If you don't do it in the elements, you're not experiencing
That's right.
it. So are you one of those guys that's out running in basically anything?
Yes. Yeah, I can't do a treadmill. So it's, I'd rather just be outside.
Do you run competitively?
Yeah, I run half marathons. I ran a few marathons years ago. I have a few races I run during the year. So, you know, it's what I like to do.
So how far are you going to run here in the blizzard of 2017?
I just did, I just did 3 miles so far. So maybe 1 more mile and that's it.
Impressive. Adam, thanks for taking a minute.
Absolutely.
Get back to your run.
All right.
Thanks.
Take care. Thank you.
John Kovach with the HAN network in Fairfield.
All right, thanks again to John Kovach for grabbing that video out there. It looked pretty cold. But just some quick news notes related to the storm. We are hearing reports of flooding in some towns, including Milford and Norwalk. In fact, Norwalk police are saying that Water Street is closed between Elizabeth and Concord due to flooding there. They're asking cars to not even attempt to drive through those waters. Another alert in the Norwalk area, and that's a jackknifed tractor trailer in South Norwalk on I-95 southbound before exit 14. Now, the travel ban is still in effect, so again, stay safe out there. Try to avoid getting on the roads. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to hear from Jacob Mizell of SWCTweather.com on what you can expect with this storm going into tonight and tomorrow. That coming up after this.
We told Dad he could have his office back if he sold 150 cars last month.
Deal's a deal.
Well, Dad, you did it. You get your office back.
Forget it. I'm having too much fun down here. My new goal, 160 cars. Wow. Folks, if you ever wanted a great price on a new Nissan, now is the time.
Right now, lease a 2017 Altima 2.5S for only $99 a month.
Isn't it time you got Millerized?
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Your St. Patrick's Day truly authentic with a wee bit of real Irish food, proper Irish-style rashers, sausage, and soda bread right from Ireland. Put down the corned beef and grab a boiling bacon to have what they really eat in the Emerald Isle. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
When it comes to your outdoor spaces, just imagine the possibilities. Whether your dream is a stunning freeform pool or a tranquil, secluded garden, the professionals at Stonebridge Associates will make it a reality. We offer unparalleled landscape design and construction, masonry development, pools, spas, and water features, even landscape maintenance. No other firm can offer the same level of creativity, quality, and personal attention. Discover the possibilities at stonebridgeassociates.net or call 203-544-8376 today.
At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier network, and we've also reached more than 2 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Shared from our reporters and editors. So far today, state police say between 5 a.m. and 10 a.m., troopers have responded to 14 no-injury crashes, 34 motorist assists, and 342 calls for service. Now, we're happy to have on the line to tell us more about this storm, Jacob Mizell of swctweather.com. Jacob, so happy to have you back on our Stormcast.
Thank you for having me again.
Now, Jacob, we heard a rumor that you're not suffering with the rest of us through this storm. You are on spring break right now, but you're keeping a close eye on things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The storm, for a number of reasons, was rather well predicted very far in advance. It was clear among all guys 4 to 5 days that a rather significant nor'easter was going to impact the region late Monday night into Tuesday. My original flight down for spring break in Miami was on Tuesday. I was luckily able to move it rather early to get out. So I'm tracking the storm from afar this time, but still able to, between webcam footage, live radar, and all the model output, it's almost like I'm there.
And Jacob, you mentioned how the storm very well predicted early on, but a little less severe than we predicted. We're seeing a lot more sleet and rain now getting mixed in. Can you talk to more about that development within the storm here?
Absolutely. This was within the last 36 hours. It was clear that this would be the main risk to the forecast. Was that a slight jog west of only 50 miles of the storm center would allow for a much stronger warm nose a few thousand feet up in the atmosphere, which would melt some of the snow falling down. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Within just the past 12 hours, model guidance really picked up on this small westward shift that is having major influences on the forecast from New York City up to the Connecticut coast, all the way up to Interstate 84. I think we're going to see a period of rather sustained sleet and freezing rain as opposed to just snow. The result of that is significantly lower snowfall accumulations, as instead of seeing snowfall rates of up to 2 to 4 inches per hour in this critical time frame from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. when the heaviest snow is predicted, we're seeing the sleet and freezing rain mix in, and the result is we're likely only going to see between 6 to 12 inches of snow at the coast, and inland maybe gets up to 14 inches, but even that is looking a bit less likely now with the sleet and freezing rain mixing in. Somewhere in the 10-inch range is more likely. It might end as a burst of snow inland as cold air comes in on the backside of the storm sometime between 2 and 5 p.m., but there's much more warm air now than most models were predicting. So it'll be hard to kick it out as the storm moves on out.
Now, Jacob, there is a travel ban in effect for Connecticut. Do you see road conditions not being so great, even though we're seeing kind of a shift away from as much snow as we thought we'd get?
So the good news with such a development that we're seeing is that not only is the warm zone working in a lot, it's also working in a empty zone, meaning that surface temperatures are generally 2 to 3 degrees warmer than expected. While in some cases I won't say too much of a difference, here it is the difference in a lot of coastal locations, especially between freezing and not freezing. So the result is that road conditions, even with some of the sleet and rain, probably not going to be quite as bad as predicted because we're missing both the really heavy rain, the heavy freezing rain with the temperatures above freezing, and the snowfall rates that can be most dangerous on the roadways. That being said, one thing I'm watching closely is that on the backside of the storm, as the storm moves out, between about 5 p.m. and 9 p.m., a lot of cold air at the surface is going to rush back in as the storm as it wraps around this nor'easter. Well, that moves in with a lot of kind of slushy snow remaining on roadways, remaining on a lot of paved surfaces. You could see what's called a flash freeze, where those surfaces freeze rather quickly with the cold air that's rushing in, and you get very icy conditions overnight into the morning, especially on untreated roads. I could see icy patches, black ice, significant icing issues into the morning tomorrow, even with precipitation looking to end around 5 or 6 p.m.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Jacob, because my next question was, with high winds obviously going to be a big issue all day, and then you've got the cold temperatures coming overnight, how do you see travel tomorrow morning being affected by what will most likely be a freezing warning this evening in Connecticut?
Yeah, I mean, I see travel certainly slow for a period of time. Temperatures through the day are likely to only get into the low 30s. So if it remains cloudy enough, the forecast right now is for partly to mostly cloudy skies. If the clouds hang on more than expected early, we could see ice lingering through most of the morning commute, 7, 8, 9 a.m. If we clear up, once we clear up, the Mark sun angle will do a lot to quickly melt any ice on roadways. But you can definitely expect icy conditions through the morning. I'll be tracking the possibility of school delays rather widespread across the region as well, on the hope that things do start melting by 8 a.m., but around 6 or 7 a.m. it could definitely be very icy and is something that people should probably prepare for, even though precipitation is ending this evening, which can be a bit deceiving.
All right, so Jacob, you're thinking maybe some delays, not necessarily closings tomorrow for a lot of area schools?
It's always hard to know in cases like this because so much of the decision comes down not to the actual weather forecast itself, but to the road crews, how able they are to clear the roads, how much advance notice they've been given, things like that. With a storm like this, there was significant advance notice. I'm sure the towns have many crews on overtime ready to go because there was expected to be such significant accumulation of snow. So with properly treated roads, I could easily see how school districts are able to open tomorrow because it's no longer dealing with a volume of snow issue. It's much more dealing with a lingering ice issue. And a lot of times these do result in delays. Some districts might need to delay up to 3 hours due to those modified delays that we've been seeing the last couple of years. And it wouldn't surprise me if some of the icing issues, especially further inland, were bad enough that schools couldn't open. We are seeing rather significant sleet accumulation still with the peak of the storm over the next few hours. But I think, especially by the coast, it will be more, delays are looking more likely than snow days as those accumulations aren't quite as impressive.
Now, Jacob, as you mentioned, there was a lot of advance warning and it allowed people to really kind of brace for this and get ready for it. What can we attribute that to? I mean, the last storm we had last time we talked to you, it was kind of a surprise that came on quickly. But this one, we knew it was coming.
Yeah, it's always kind of hard to know exactly why our weather models are picking up on some storms and not picking up on others. One of the things that I was cautioning throughout the storm is just because every model is showing it doesn't mean that's going to be the final solution that verifies. Amazingly, models that had not been performing the best through the winter were actually the ones that picked up best on this kind of westward shift that turned a lot of the region to sleet and rain. While at the same time, broad signal 5 days out was extremely strong just because all of our global models were handling a pattern that was rather stable in that we've been seeing these shifts in those forecasts for about a week or two now with a cold shot mid-March. That much has been apparent by basically the beginning of the month. And because models were able to get the broad stream pattern correct, this is just kind of my theory, is that they were able to fine-tune and really kind of home in on some of the other pattern features, especially because this is such a large, significant storm. It would be difficult for models to miss it completely. There was so much energy both across the Midwest and across the Southeast that it would be almost impossible for those two features to not interact together, and it was just a matter of how exactly they would interact, which would determine the exact storm track and impact to the region. But because there was such a large amount of energy and the broad pattern had already been properly identified by the model, I think that it really helped us kind of give the advanced warning of, even 7 days ago, there was an amazingly strong signal on the models that there would be some nor'easter hitting the Northeast today.
Wow. So, Jacob, any chance there could be more snow on the way this March, or do you think we're finally in the clear after this one?
So, it's always hard to say. It looks like at the end of February we might be in the clear for the rest of winter, and then by early March there were signs that mid-March could get exciting again. There are a couple small threats that I'm listing right now. A couple models have briefly shown that weekend there could be a light snow event. It's always hard in March to rule things out because all you need is things to come together, just enough cold air. I'm still watching the chance to Saturday see some light snow, maybe turning the rain. Not a ton of cold air, but a weak Alberta with a persistent moving through can always drop a bit of snow. After that, I'm not overly optimistic. The pattern does not look as cold as the one that we have in the next few days. And so it will be harder to get these large storms, but definitely a couple chances still kind of small snow events as we move forward to the next week or two.
Well, Jacob, always great to talk to you. SWCTweather.com, great information there. Jacob, enjoy your spring break in Miami. Please, go have fun.
Yeah. After today, it's back going out, but I want to make sure that we get through this storm.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. MrHandymanCT.com.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? Skep Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, skepchryslerjeep.com or skepdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the spring clearance event and Ram Truck Month, now through March 31st.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
While there's still a bite out on the water, most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
It's the InSports Athletic Functional Movement Assessment Program.
A program that uses a camera, the same camera that you use with an Xbox video game.
What it involves is 3 phases. One is the initial test, which will give you a very objective and lengthy assessment of how you are moving and where there may be imbalances.
Once test gets the results from the assessment, we'll develop a customized program for the individual.
The objective really to try to get as many young athletes through this program as possible.
Wild Birds Unlimited.
At Wild Birds Unlimited of Brookfield, get expert advice from our certified bird feeding specialists. We offer always fresh, clean seed that will be sure to attract birds to your home feeder. Experience our excellent customer service. Open 7 days a week. Visit us at 317 Federal Road, Brookfield.
Wild Birds Unlimited. We bring people and nature together.
Welcome back to your HAN Network Afternoon Stormcast. There you're seeing Route 8 clear right now, though it is icing out there, so we are expecting conditions to get worse later tonight as it gets colder. Now, as we mentioned earlier, there are some flooding issues being reported, including in Norwalk, in the Rowayton area. We are hearing about some flooding there. Here's a photo shared by a seawall there, and I know Norwalk police had also said that in Norwalk, Water Street was closed between Elizabeth and Concord Street due to flooding there. Also hearing about flooding in Milford as well. Now, just to give you the latest on what Governor Dannel Malloy is saying about this storm, that travel ban that went into effect at 5 a.m. is still in effect as of right now. It's just before 2 o'clock on Tuesday. That may be lifted later. The governor is going to give another update on the storm around 5:30, so we'll see what happens then. So far, not many accidents reported, thankfully, by state police, just about 28, which is down from the usual number in this kind of weather. According to the governor, the DOT is doing a good job keeping up with snowfall, and it's helping that people are actually heeding that travel ban. We are seeing some cars now go back and forth down Route 8, but still not many. Now, Frank, what can we expect moving into tonight and tomorrow?
Still a chance for a couple more snow showers on the way, but it'll be a wintry mix with sleet and rain. Altogether, the storm's going to total out between 8 to 12 inches compared to that original 18 to 20 we thought we might see. But as you mentioned, Kate, freezing conditions expected later on. Wind gusts are going to be very strong throughout the afternoon, anywhere between 40 and 55 miles per hour. They'll stay up above 35 miles per hour, gusting to 50 overnight. Very cold overnight. With the wind chill, it's going to feel almost around zero. So we could be staring down some icy conditions as we head into Wednesday morning's commute.
All right, and again, we want to remind everyone, if you want the latest on closings, delays, businesses that may be open, definitely check your local HAN Network news site. We'll also be doing our best to keep you updated on Twitter at HAN Network CT. We're asking everyone, just please stay safe out there, avoid going on the roads if possible, and we'll, of course, be back tomorrow with your coffee break at 11. Stay safe and warm out there.